calling from a 231 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Steven from Bel Air, Michigan.
Steven
I
from
wanted to
Michigan. What's on your mind?
I wanted to let Michigan voters be aware of two ballot initiatives being proposed that volunteers are gathering signatures for. One is for ranked choice voting, and you
Nice.
can find all the information and volunteer at mirankvote.org, I believe is the URL. Then also, I recently found out about a proposal being pushed to abolish property taxes, and I was wondering what y'all's opinion was on that. I think I know, but I was wondering how we could explain to people the implications of that. And it looks like from this proposal that they want to pull money from sales income tax in order to make up for it in local municipalities. But
Yeah.
as someone who comes from like a tourist area, they already have many people have multiple homes. While I struggle to find my first home, so it doesn't make much doesn't help much for me.
I'm sorry. I was looking up the website that you sent, so I may ask you to repeat that second part. It's actually rankmivote.org.
Rankmivote.org.
Yes, I mean, it feels like it should be more what you said, but it's rankmivote.org. Can you do you, I apologize. Do you mind repeating the second part?
Yes, there is
He was
on abolishing property taxes.
Oh my God. Yes, okay. Abolishing property
Yes,
taxes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
supplementing it with sales
Yeah,
tax. So
absolutely not. That's extremely
exactly.
regressive if that's the case.
Yeah, the volunteer that had told me about it when I had mentioned that I was for a progressive tax system, she seemed very upset that I could even suggest such a
Oh my God.
idea, and it was just wild to hear that. Whereas that, if anything, this proposal would widen the gap between the rich and poor even more so.
Absolutely. I mean,
But
tariffs are
uh,
about to make that even worse. Tariffs are a compounding sales tax, and it is a retro great or it's a
regressive.
regressive tax and retrograde, but regressive tax that disproportionately harms you the less income you have.
right. And yeah, if you have any information on what we can tell people who need more information on why we shouldn't abolish property taxes, I'll take those opinions off the phone. I'll let you go.
Well, I kind of
Rest in
just said
power,
it,
Michael. Oh,
but let me just ask you really quick before I let you go. Are you hearing good things in Michigan about Abdul El Sayed's campaign?
yeah, more or less. I met him a couple of times myself. He came to Bel Air and was able to talk with people and constituents. I'm all for him. I think voters' main concern was his opinion on AI, and that he suggested he was for strong regulation, while many of us, I would believe, are for outright banning it. And I told him myself, if you want heavy regulation on AI, you should probably just advocate for outright banning it, because as with politics, everything's a negotiation. So if you have people that want zero regulation versus people who want to ban it, you're probably going to find yourself somewhere in the middle with heavy regulations. And quite personally, I think an outright ban would be justified as someone who's friends with authors and writers and artists.
I hear you on that.
Yeah,
I will
I think that's good. Decent.
pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably get a lot of spending toward some of his candidates, given how much money's behind AI right now.
That's what I'm
But,
about to say.
yeah.
Is you that's good pressure from you. Your position is probably correct. He's not going to do it. He's not going to say that because they are terrified of the Sherrod Brown situation where
I mean,
a
did you
bunch
see
of
Sherrod
crypto
Brown?
money goes into a race and basically buys it for them.
Did you see Sherrod is now saying like crypto's part of the economy and he just wants to make sure people don't get scammed? It's pretty sad.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
it's depressing. I mean, even John Ossoff was capitulating on crypto down and because he's worried about his race in 2026. This is political corruption.
And that's what he's running on, and he's pro crypto, which is something he's not going to be able to persist with. Like, crypto is literally the embodiment of corruption in our politics right now.
Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Thank
R.I.P.
you.
to Michael Brooks.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Jacob Fry's small tent says, most important takeaway, this meeting was bullshit and Fateh can appeal the finding from the rules committee and we can raise hell to get the executive committee to actually follow the rules.
Oh, nice. I mean, just on Fateh, because, a similar upper Midwestern state, where we talked about Abdul El-Sayed. In Clare, Michigan, this city has... before I tell you how many people live in the city, 2024, Trump won this county by with 68% of the vote. Look at this. I mean, just a full group here, and this is a town of 3,000 people.
That's amazing.
That's and so like all this thing about like the fear of having a Somali guy run, it's bigotry by the party, because I don't think that actually Americans are that hostile to scenes. I mean, look at Barack Obama. Barack Hussein Obama won the 2008 election with massive, I mean, the biggest election win we've seen in my lifetime, I think.
Yeah.
People need to stop treating voters as if they are Klans members, because that's more likely like sentiments shared by their donors or the people that listen to Jonathan Greenblatt.
Matt from PA, while there should not abolish property taxes, school funding should not be based off property taxes. That's how I feel. What are your thoughts? My exact opinion.
School funding should not be based on property taxes?
No, because
it should be national. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It is a big part of the education gap, because if it's funded by property taxes, yeah, like there are oftentimes like ways that there are attempts to backfill the gaps, but it's too big of a gap when you have a lower income neighborhood with low property taxes and high incomes that fund their schools. So Progressive Blob 2028. Emma is splitting hairs and being too nice to racist Jewish families. I have a half Armenian partner. Reaction to genocide or other hardship, therefore sticking together, can be easily morphed into just racism and eugenics. Their little branch of the family is very ethnically mixed, and many in the other branches are not fans. Just like Rwanda, Israel needs to be held accountable and forcibly stopped, even if a decent share of their population can claim past oppression or even genocide. Fair enough. You know, I'm also expanding that, like, sometimes, like, there's, again, I'm a white person, so it feels so corny for me to say this, but like sometimes they'll be like black men should date black women, that kind of thing.
That stuff's all weird too.
That's some of the discourse in this country. Yeah, it just feels it's harder for me to like make a certain, you know, an assessment.
Those
like,
parts of families need to be
wag.
Marginalized. They just do.
But I also understand it as a response to trauma of like, you know, trying to keep heritage alive. And it's different for me than a white people saying it who have always been dominant, or white Christians saying it. In the context of Zionism, it's a lot less, I think, acceptable. But I hear you, and your critique of my squishiness about this is fair. I'm just a soft-hearted little coastal
you're being too what is the thing they kept saying, Sam Harris used to always say about cultural relativism? Yeah, a little bit too much of a cultural relativism.
You're using a Sam Harris critique against me?
Actually, you need to meditate and really think this thing
off
through
mic,
in a
you're always
logical
like,
way. You're making lots of fallacies.
Off mic, you're always like, Norris should stick with Norris.
You're right.
You always say that.
Hell yeah. That's why I had a mail order husband straight from Norway. Now he's Italian.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.